Welcome to County Magazine, a chance to find out what's new across Fairfax County. I'm Brian Ashby. On this edition, we'll get to know the county's Office of Human Rights and Equity programs. We'll celebrate regional connectivity at the grand opening of the Metro Silver Line extension to Dulles, and we'll learn how the county is keeping its promise of increased affordable housing. Plus, cows race for cash at Frying Pan Farm Park's NASCOW FundRACER. Using its One Fairfax equity policy as a guide, the Board of Supervisors has made affordable housing a priority in the future development of Fairfax County. To ensure that the broadest range of residents have an opportunity to succeed, the board has promised to make living in Fairfax County more affordable to more residents. Here's an update.
The Fairfax County Board of Supervisors increased the county's goal to produce a minimum of 10,000 new units of housing for households with low and moderate incomes by 2034.
We believe in Fairfax County that affordable housing is a priority because we want to uplift all people and give all people opportunities to be successful in Fairfax County. We have passed a One Fairfax initiative that ensures that we are promoting equity in the county, and that means equity in housing as well.
Over the last 2 years, Fairfax County has made extraordinary progress in keeping our promise to advance the creation of affordable housing opportunities in every corner of the county. Our work towards achieving this goal involves 3 primary strategies: developing housing on public lands through the use of public-private partnerships, investing local, state, and federal resources to support non- and for-profit developments, and implementing inclusionary zoning policies and programs that encourage our market rate developers to commit a certain percentage of the units they build to be affordable to households with lower incomes.
Public-private partnerships are a key to Fairfax County's success when it comes to building affordable housing. Through these partnerships, the county joins with housing developers to deliver committed affordable housing on county-owned land. The homes are built, owned, and operated by the developer, but Fairfax County owns the land, and that ensures that the homes on the property will remain affordable for generations.
We have several public-private partnerships under construction as we speak. Last year, we broke ground on Oakwood Senior Housing. This community is being developed by APA. The project will deliver 150 units of independent senior living. Work has also begun on One University, a new multi-generational community adjacent to George Mason University in the Braddock District. The project, developed by SCG Development, will include 120 units of multifamily housing, 120 units of senior independent living, and 333 units of student housing. And work is nearing completion on the residences at North Hill in the Mount Vernon District. This Penrose community will include 216 multifamily apartments, 63 independent senior living apartments, and a 12-acre public park.
Fairfax County and the Fairfax County Redevelopment and Housing Authority also administer the allocation of local, state, and federal resources to help developers finance new affordable development.
A few examples of homes under construction that have received financing assistance through Fairfax County Redevelopment and Housing Authority include the Arden, located in the Mount Vernon District, which will deliver 126 multifamily apartments right next to the Huntington Metro Station. The new Lake Ann House in the Hunter Mill District, which is replacing 240 apartments of independent senior living right in the heart of Reston. And the Ovation at Arrowbrook with 274 multifamily apartments adjacent to Metro's new innovation station, along the Silver Line in the Drainsville district, and we recently announced financing awarded to Dominion Square, bringing more than 500 units of committed affordable housing to Tyson's in the Hunter Mill district.
To follow the ongoing progress of the Fairfax County Department of Housing and Community Development, visit fairfaxcounty.gov/housing or follow us on Facebook at Fairfax County Housing.
The idea was born over 5 decades ago to connect the nation's capital by rail to its own international airport. They said it would never happen. But with many years, legions of devoted public servants and critical public-private partnerships, the hard-fought dream of the Metro Silver Line extension to Dulles was just made a reality. Take a look.
Welcome to the opening ceremonies for the second phase of the Silver Line. Thank you for joining us today at the Dulles Airport Station, where leaders began planning for Metro to connect trains and planes in the 1950s. They saw the possibilities, and generations of leaders created the opportunities.
What a great, great day. I want to echo what has already been said to all of the folks who've been involved in this project. A hearty thanks.
The return on this investment will be, I believe, incalculable as we go forward in the future, and will improve the quality of life and the environment for everybody.
And so big things take time, and this is a big thing. And what we've proven here today is with enough tenacity, enough partnerships, enough hard work, we can still do really big things when it comes to infrastructure that help our riders and help our economy in so many tremendous ways.
What a pleasure it is to be here, but I can't miss the opportunity to celebrate with you and to offer my congratulations to everyone who made today possible, everyone who kept fighting for years and years and years, knowing how much it would help the people of this region.
It's a collaboration between Fairfax and Loudoun County with a lot of partnership from our federal government and the state to get to where we are now, and to open this number of stations and expand the Silver Line the way that we have and the way that we celebrated throughout the day today is a remarkable regional achievement, and it's something we can be proud of. And I hope the residents of the county and people in the region appreciate the enormous magnitude of this project and really the team effort of all hands on deck to make this happen.
And this is a remarkable day for Reston, the Hunter Mill District, and for all of Fairfax County. The opening of Phase 2 rail, it really is the establishment of a new identity for the Dulles corridor. Transit is alive and well. Let's see everybody getting on the train over the coming weeks and coming years. It is alive and well.
Unfortunately, acts of discrimination and injustice are still a part of life for many, negatively impacting their access to opportunity and their ability to grow as contributing members of society. We're lucky in Fairfax County to have the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs in our corner. OREP not only ensures equality of opportunity, but it also promotes justice, diversity, and inclusiveness by protecting our civil rights. There's more on the important work they do.
This is Fairfax County, a place well known for its multicultural communities and acceptance of racial and social diversity. A place where discrimination and bias actions are not acceptable. If you think you have faced unlawful discrimination in housing, employment, private education, credit, or public accommodations, help is available through the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs.
The mission of the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs is ensuring equal opportunity and promoting justice, diversity, and inclusiveness by protecting the civil rights of all people living and working in Fairfax County. We investigate complaints alleging violations of the Fairfax County's Human Rights Ordinance and manage the county's Fair Housing Plan. We also administer the county's equal employment enforcement and ensure the county's compliance with all federal, state, and county mandates granting equal access to all services, programs, and work opportunities.
The Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs handles complaints of illegal discrimination on the basis of age, 40 years or more in employment, elderliness, 55 or more in housing, color, childbirth and pregnancy in employment, disability or handicap, familial status in housing, genetic information in employment, marital status, military status in housing, national origin, race, religion, sex, including sexual harassment, gender identity, and sexual orientation, source of funds in housing, and retaliation for complaining of discrimination.
As of July 1st, 2020, the county's human rights ordinance was amended, including protections for individuals facing discrimination in housing on the basis of their source of funds, such as attempting to use a housing choice voucher or other subsidy, and military status in housing. And in June of 2022, the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development extended the definition of race to include discrimination based on one's criminal history when applying for housing. There are also many questions we receive about the rights of disabled individuals to have support animals in housing, or unlawfully being assessed fees in order for assistance animals to be approved. Sometimes we are unable to move forward on a complaint because either the subject matter is not covered by law or the complaint is not based on one of the protected classes under the ordinance. In the cases where we can't proceed a complaint, we still make every effort to connect people with resources that are helpful to their particular case.
If you believe you have been the victim of unlawful discrimination, you may initiate the screening process by completing an online questionnaire or by contacting the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs by phone. After review, if your complaint is covered by law, you can make an appointment to discuss your concern with a human rights specialist.
So we like for people to initiate the intake screening process by filling out the online questionnaire first. This helps people identify if their complaint is one that the OREP may have jurisdiction over. It's good to know before someone completes an intake appointment whether or not we have jurisdiction to assist them in filing a complaint. Another way is to start the complaint process by calling or stopping by our office to schedule an intake appointment. So we have set aside Wednesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for walk-in intakes. However, I would encourage everyone to please call the office ahead of time in order to schedule an intake appointment, just because there may be changes in the future. So we offer having intake appointments done via video conference, such as Microsoft Teams, in person, or via telephone. We ask people to really be prepared before beginning the intake screening process. They should have notes, information, details about who they're filing against, so the respondent, it could be an individual, an organization, an entity, about the time, location, details pertinent to the alleged incidents of discrimination. That's all information that's very useful and helpful for the intake process.
After your discussion with the human rights specialist, if appropriate, they can assist you in formulating a complaint to sign.
So during the investigation process, an investigator will collect documentation and evidence from the parties involved. So the complainant, the individuals or entities that are named in the complaint as respondents. We also typically conduct interviews with the parties involved. Following that, we provide the complainant an opportunity to rebut the defenses provided by the respondent. The time it takes to investigate a complaint can vary. It greatly depends on the facts of the case, the numbers of allegations in the complaint, as well as the office's overall caseload.
When the investigation is complete, a final investigative report is issued outlining whether or not the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs determined there was sufficient evidence for a finding of discrimination. If there is not enough evidence to support the claim, your case may be dismissed. If the evidence supports the claim, you, the complainant, may, in some instances, receive relief to remedy the type of discriminatory conduct you were subject to, such as back pay, job reinstatement, approval to rent an apartment, and reimbursement of fees assessed in housing. Acts of discrimination compromise millions of lives daily. No one should face injustice in any form. If it happens to you, the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs is here to help. For more information, call 703-324-2953.
Identity theft, ransomware, corporate and government breaches, medical and financial hacks, even using your contacts to attack your friends. Hackers are always hard at work coming up with new ways to take what's yours. But you're not defenseless. There are things you can do to mitigate the risks of cyber attack. Always keep firewalls turned on and updated. Install or update antivirus, anti-spyware software. Use strong, unique passwords and change them on a regular basis. Never click a link, attachment, or macro in an unsolicited email or text. Regularly back up your data to an external hard drive or the cloud. If you fall victim to a cyber attack, disconnect the infected device from your network, and if at work, notify your IT staff. Change your online account names and passwords, and have the infected device professionally serviced. If an attack results in a loss of financial, personal, or medical information, file a police report. If you have any questions about emergency preparedness, visit the Fairfax County Office of Emergency Management's website. Don't let hackers take what's yours. Make plans for your cyber safety today and remain vigilant tomorrow.
The Park Authority's Frying Pan Farm Park is the last working farm in Fairfax County, boasting a full complement of barns, farmyard animals, and an adoring public that's always game to offer support. Recently, the folks at Frying Pan Farm Park held a fundraiser and gathered a league of their beefiest bovines to compete in a high-stakes sporting event they call the NASCOW FundRACER.
All right, everybody, I want to welcome you all to NASCOW 2022 edition. Moo! NASCOW 2022 is on! Oh, we got Florence in the lead right now. That Hereford power is hard to deny.
They have a routine every morning, so I changed their routine up a little bit yesterday and fed them in a different area so that they're ready to go. And then their normal feeding time, we set this schedule so that they would be ready to eat at the end of their normal feeding time.
We've got an all Angus front row right now. That looks like Hokey out there. Or actually, no, that's Polly. Polly in first place. Yay, Polly running first.
And it's just really great for kids and families to be able to come out and see where their food comes from, see how hard it takes to produce things like the milk for your cereal and the bacon that's on your plate, and just really being able to come out and seeing these animals in real life, because a lot of kids just see them on pictures and they see them on TV, and to be able to really come out here and experience this is really, really very important. Events like this that raise money to be able to take care of these animals and buy new animals are so important to really keeping this farm alive.
The Friends of Frying Pan Farm Park raises funds and runs events, and all of the money goes directly back into the park, the animals, helping support the staff. It's an enormous place to run. There's always a need, and so many people come here and love it and have so many wonderful family memories.
Oh, Polly! Polly in first place!
With the animals, with the love that's been poured into this farm for so many years, with the love that continues to be poured into this farm with the staff here and the Friends of Frying Pan, and as much as they give to this farm, you got to come out and actually walk it, actually experience it. Yeah, so I encourage anyone to. It's a great place.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of County Magazine. Thanks for joining me. Remember, there are countless ways to get involved in your community and make Fairfax County an even better place to live, work, and play. And one of the most important ways is to be a good neighbor. So check in with people who live in your community this season and find a place to lend a hand. I'm Brian Ashby. We'll see you next time on County Magazine.